Hello, my friends. And as of yesterday, the Security Service of Ukraine officially confirmed that they carried out a drone attack on military infrastructure in Crimea. The outcome is the defeat of several crucial military facilities.
This morning, December 5th, SBU drones hit a number of important military facilities in the temporarily occupied Crimea. This was reported by Glavcom sources. As noted, Ukrainian forces hit the Nebo-M radar system in the area of the settlement of Bagorovo, the parking lot of helicopters, the P-18 Terek radar system and the control system of the Baikal-1M anti-aircraft missile units near the village of Strelkov. The morning cotton at military facilities in Crimea is the result of a special operation by the Security Service of Ukraine.
In the area near Zmiiny Island, the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully shot down a Russian Su-24 bomber. Meanwhile, along the front line, the active phase of offensive actions from the Russian side continues. However, this is not the case in the Kherson direction. There are no confirmed changes along the front line, and the Russians complain that the Ukrainian Armed Forces are successfully destroying their drones.
Enemy drones in the Kherson direction have conquered the airspace. Driving on the roads is difficult. Drone operators of the armed forces of Ukraine are hunting even for single cars. The photo shows a burning Ural car shot down by an enemy kamikaze drone. In general, fierce fighting is taking place in the Kherson direction, especially in the area of the village of Krimean. The enemy has concentrated long-range artillery, thanks to which it is actively firing at our positions, and this is not to mention drones. There are losses, both on our side and on the enemy's side.
Unfortunately, the Russians are also trying to heavily arm themselves with drones. It's reported that the Russian Federation is ordering tens of thousands of FPV drones with thermal imagers from China. According to preliminary information, around 40,000 drones are being produced at a single factory. They may appear on the front line in the near future, worsening the situation. However, Mark Milley stated that Russians should be targeted for what they have done to Ukraine.
There shouldn't be a single Russian who goes to bed without wondering if their throat will be slit in the middle of the night, said the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, according to an official familiar with the incident.
On the Zaporizhzhia front, the occupiers continue their offensive actions in Robotyne, shelling the village. Despite their significant breakthroughs towards the village, the Ukrainian Armed Forces prevent them from consolidating, and the front line remains unchanged over the day. In the Vuhledar direction, there are currently only shelling incidents reported, concentrated around Staromayorsky and Rivnopil. No changes along the front line have been observed as before. The Avdiivka direction remains the most challenging. Here, the Russians are actively storming the Ukrainian Armed Forces positions on the northern flank. Attacks, as before, are recorded in the area of the coke chemical plant, with ongoing attempts to capture Svatove and Bakhmutivka. On the southern flank, the occupiers are attempting to storm Severne, and battles persist in the industrial zone. However, there have been no changes along the front line in the past day. It is also reported that some Russians are already refusing to participate in the assaults.
The Russian army does not stop trying to capture Avdiivka, despite significant losses. During the day, the armed forces of Ukraine repelled 15 enemy attacks in the areas of Stepanivka, Severn, Stepov, and Novobakhmutivka. Refusals of enemy soldiers to go on assaults are recorded. They see very well the forest belts and roadsides littered with the corpses of Russians, Stupin stressed. According to him, Russian troops are also active in the area of Robotyne. They are trying to regain lost positions.
We hope that soon they will all refuse to advance and head to Moscow instead. Further south, after small successes in Marinka, the occupiers have halted all assault operations and for now are only engaging in shelling across the entire front line. The Ukrainian Armed Forces comment on the situation in this direction as follows.
If we talk about the front, the situation near Avdiivka is extremely difficult. The flanks are pressing, let's be honest, but it is absurd to consider this a force of the Russian army, which has been taking the town for months.
In the Bakhmut direction, Russian attempts to advance in the area of Bogdanivka persist. The Ukrainian Armed Forces report that the situation there is challenging and the Russians have limited success. Battles are also ongoing in the areas of Klashivka and Avdiivka, but there is no success for the Russians and the front line remains unchanged. In the Crimean and Siversk areas, the occupiers continue shelling across the entire front line. Offensive actions are ongoing in the forest near Kreminna. Battles also continue in the areas of Bilohorivka and the village of Terny. The Russians don't achieve significant success and the front line remains unchanged over the day. In the direction of Svatove, there are currently only shelling incidents and no new attacks are reported. The situation can be described as stable. Meanwhile, in the Kupiansk direction, battles continue. Occupiers are deploying all their forces to capture Synkivka. However, as before, it remains under the control of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Over the day, Ukrainian units repelled 5 attacks. Battles also persist on the approach to Petropavlovka, with no changes along the front line reported over the day. Meanwhile, Russia is teaching children a so-called patriotism. In the Russian city of Tomsk, the peaceful barrier of the Russian Federation festival took place. On one of the locations for children, they set up a shooting range where instead of targets, there were photos of Volodymyr Zelensky, Joe Biden, and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Additionally, Putin stated to new ambassadors in Russia that Russia is open to constructive partnership with all countries without exception. Our country has no prejudice, let alone hostile intentions, no matter who it concerns. However, in Ukraine, a war-genocide has been ongoing for almost 2 years, and it doesn't resemble constructive partnership.
Что касается России, то мы проводили и проводим независимый, последовательный и принципиальный внешнеполитический курс, открытый конструктивному партнерству со всеми без исключения странами и не приемлем блоковую конфронтацию, любые шаги, идущие вразрез с уставом ООН. Наша страна не имеет предвзятых и тем более враждебных намерений к кому бы то ни было. И, конечно, рассчитываем, что все международные партнеры в отношениях с нами будут придерживаться принципов равноправия и взаимного учета интересов.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.